Here. How you guys doing? So apparently I have to do Facebook and YouTube. Then you guys show up. I am so happy you guys showed up. Hi to everybody. Hi Barbara, Megan. How you guys doing? I'm so glad you came. So we're just gonna shoot this stuff. Hey, look what I got. One of my subscribers sent this to me. I want to thank you so much, girl. It's delicious. Mm-mm-mm. This one is actually purple, but all the rest of them have been coming out blue. And the tea is unbelievable. I'm buying it all the time now. Okay, I gotta fix my face. I don't understand what that big blob is over there. But anyway, so I'm so glad you guys came. Last week was, I was a little bit mad because nobody came, but I think it was my fault, so I'm sorry. Apparently, you guys didn't get my notice. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes YouTube, you guys got to check to see if you get notified when you check off that little box. So please check the box, subscribe, then check the notification bell, hit all of them. Hey, Diane, how you doing? How you doing, girl? Thank you for coming. And I don't know. So, if that's why I'm doing them in both places, because if you're following me on both of them, then you're good. Okay. So tonight's going to be a really big show. I'm just crazy tonight. So anyway, it appears that every time I talk about doing state complaints or due process hearings, everybody wants to come. And I am so happy. I guess I'm going to do this all the time. So, thank you for the tea. I'll be sipping on that all day. It's delicious. It's a special tea. And it has all the different things. I haven't kicked off school property lately. Diane says she hasn't been kicked off the school property lately. Well, that's good news. Good for you. So you're doing great. I like you. I love your TikTok, by the way. You got to talk to me about TikTok because I want to do it so bad. And everybody's telling me to do TikTok. I want to do it so bad, but every time I go to do it, I hit the button, I get scared. I get scared. So I don't do it. But anyway, I do want to do it. I want to do TikTok so bad. Like when I'm driving, I have one of them rant movements. I can just do it. So anyway, you guys got to push me to do a TikTok. So you guys can follow me on that. Anyway, so my name is Tammy. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Tammy Joya, and I am an advocate. I've been advocating for a very long time. So I pretty much know a lot of the regs, and I pretty much have seen it all. But every day is different. I cannot believe 3 minutes video. I know. That's what I want to do, Diane. My granddaughter does it, and I love her. It's just wonderful. And I always watch them, and she's cool and stuff. So anyway, what I do is I provide parents with advocacy, which I'm trying to pull away from to a certain degree. But I provide advocacy to parents and training. So, hi, Jessica. You're in Kia. Can you talk about alternative dispute resolution? I have one tomorrow. I don't know what I don't know what that means. Okay, you guys have to tell me. Are you talking about dispute? Are you talking about a resolution meeting? A resolution meeting is it's nothing. It's not gonna amount to nothing. Hand pink waving. Hey, Erin. You need TikTok. I know I need TikTok. So Jessica, I hope I said your name right. If I didn't, I apologize. So we need to file the civil rights. Okay, that's okay. We need. I know. That's like I just got out of a hearing, guys. I was scheduled to do a hearing, and now I'm not. It was supposed to be in March, so now I'm free. First of all, to finish all the stuff I haven't done, and but there is another one coming up in okay, so we're gonna act stupid all day. So I have another hearing scheduled in April. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. So I'll keep you guys posted. So Jessica, you have to explain to me, okay. Are you having like a mediation meeting? Is somebody from the state going to be there from the Department of Education? I don't understand. Are you in a hearing? What's going on, honey? I need more information than that. Okay. Just give me a little bit more. There haven't been any recent instances, so you can come to reading night, but no talking to any kids or teachers. Diane, I'm going to have to kill you. Okay. Stop. So yeah, I know civil rights. I know, Diane. I got you, girl. You thought I forget you. I'm not forgetting you. I'm slowly pulling so that I can do everything that I need to do. Okay. So you're doing great. Thank you so much for giving me this time. I really, really appreciate it. I mean, things have popped off like you guys don't want to even know. I was in 3 separate hearings. 2 of them, we walked away from one of them, but we really didn't. And, emailed you and yeah, I saw that just like I thought. We need more data. So she needs to fix it so they collect it right because they're not collecting it right. She's telling me they're doing good. Well, where's the data? Because I need more than that. But I'll talk to you tomorrow, Barbara. Julie, I have arrived. Thank you, girl. I love you guys. I'm so happy you guys are coming here. You have no idea there. Take your time. I'm just documenting and laughing at their stupidity. That's my girl. That's my girl. That's what you do, right? Let me see. Okay. All right. Good, Barbara. So, as I stated, I've been doing this for like almost 30 years. And I just can't seem to stop. Every time I think I'm going to walk away, one of you guys drags me right back into it again. The things that I want to do is this. I want to show you guys how to do it so you could do it yourself. Okay. So just Jessica. No, just a special ed director. She sent me a PWN invite to talk about my concerns. But you said it's nothing, so I feel better. It's poo-poo caca. Are there other people coming there? It's not just you and the sped director, right? Because listen, guys. Okay. Anytime you meet with these tinkle heads and you have concerns, and they're about your kid's IEP, specifically about goals and objectives and a whole bunch of stuff, everybody has to be there. Everybody. Because that's how you fix your concerns. Okay? So, I need to get with you. I have a friend that is having several issues within the house council. Erin, what's SELPA? Okay. Special Education LPA. That's in PA. Hey, lady, autism. Long time no chat. Right. Who are you? I'm sorry. I forget you guys' handles and stuff, so you have to remind me. But Diane, walk around with, that's right, 300 CFR. That's what you guys got to do. Here, look, I'm gonna show you guys a trick, okay? Mama rocks the IEP. Raven. Hi, Raven. Like you. Okay, look. All of this stuff that we're talking about is about IEPs, right? So let's say hypothetically, the reason why, okay, Jessica, that she wants to have a chat with you is because she don't want you filing shit. Complaints, hearings. So what they want to do is talk to you. When you go to meetings, first of all, you want to know what the purpose of the meeting is not concerns. That's not a purpose, okay? So you want her to tell you exactly what the purpose of the meeting is, okay? They're about your concerns. So what, I don't know what that means. I don't know how you have a meeting about concerns. What you need to do is put it in writing, tell them what you want, tell them how to fix it. That's what you do. You tell them how to fix it. You say, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then they have to all get off the pot. They have to say yes or no. They only got 2 options. There's no negotiating. They got 2 options. They either say yes to your request in writing or they say no. Period. Do you understand? Period. There's no in between. There's no gray areas. There's no third option. 2 options. The district either answers your request with the yes or they answer your request with the no. So, honey, if you have concerns, put those exact concerns in writing and tell them what you want. Say, I want additional speech and language services. I want 30 more minutes more. Whatever you want, you put it in writing and you say, this is what I want. I don't need to meet with you. I need you to tell me yes or no. And I need you to send me prior written notice as to your response. Are you going to approve it or you're not going to approve it? Pick one. That's what you tell Doofus. Tell her to pick one. Don't go to the meeting. If nobody else is going to that meeting, don't go. Because you know what she's going to do? She's going to do this to you. That's what you're going to chit. And you know what? You got nothing in writing. You need shit in writing. Okay. Order of business, okay? There's 3 things you have to know about a hearing. You need to know the facts, the law, and you have to have evidence. You don't have to have witnesses, but you do have to have evidence, okay? Thank you. Mwah, I like you. Don't go to that stupid meeting. If she didn't, and people, when the school district invites you to a meeting to go have a little chit chat, you want all the people there, okay? And if they're not there, you tell them I'm not waiving them. Bite me. They all have to be there, or we're not having a team meeting. And whenever you have a meeting with the cuckaheads, trying to be a good girl tonight, when you have a meeting with them, guess what? They have to put it in writing. There's no such thing as, well, we just had a meeting. No. Anytime they have a meeting with your kids, it's a team meeting. Because the reason why they say, well, it was just a meeting is because they're trying to get around the regs. Okay, the regs say they have to send you a meeting invitation. They have to tell you who the attendees are. They have to put their names on there. And if they don't come, you can invite other people. Okay, and they can't say no. They have to say yes, especially if they work for the school and they're a member of your kid's team and they're providing a service to your kid. Okay, and they have to give you an N1. Yes, that's what that's a Massachusetts saying. So anyway, she's right. They have to, okay. Idea, and when I say facts, law, and evidence, the reason why it's so important is because it's so damn easy. You know why? Facts are the facts, that you have the documents for the facts, okay? Because every time they do something, they have to put it in writing. Okay, they have to put it in writing. And if they don't put it in writing, guess what? That's a violation. Understand? It's a violation that you can file either a state complaint on, you can file for due process. Now, so here's what I want you guys to do. Unless I invite you, then my school district wants to be my POA. Yeah, you know what I say about your school district, right? Don't make me swear on this. I don't know what the little kiddies are doing right now. Don't make me swear. I got to drink my tea because you guys are crazy already. Oh, yeah. See, you guys want to see something really cute? Isn't that adorable? Oh, look at the teacup. Oh, it's purple. Yep. And it has no tea. I love this tea. I just absolutely love it. Anyway, it's delicious. So there's a process for everything. Okay. There's when you got, okay. Let me start over. Listen, you guys, you're the head honcho in charge. Okay. Thank you, Megan. You're the head honcho in charge. Okay. The only reason why we have ideas is because of parents with kids with disabilities. It's not about the school district. Shh, don't tell them. They don't know it's not about them. Okay. I have a parent in Connecticut. The team are a bunch of assholes. Okay. Just tell us how you really feel. We request a meeting and they want to stall. Take the parent to due process because we request an IE. Okay. And then their attorney does not show up to the pre-hearing conference, so it's dropped. Now they say we are having a meeting without you because you are mad and want to rush because it's annual time. Oh, they're putting you through the ringer. Yeah. Report them. Okay. Report their asses. Send this information over to the state and then put it under Laura Duos. Okay. She's OSEP. You can look her up on the OSEP website. If you need it, let me know. Okay. I know you would give me POA. I don't want POA. I don't want no kids. Kids. I'm reading you guys' comments. This is not fun what you guys are going through. Laura Duos. Yes. Okay. And you send it to the state, but you put Laura Duos' name on it. Okay. And you tell her. So this is what the school district's doing. I requested a team meeting and they said no. See, the school district can't tell you no for a team meeting, honey. Absolutely not. You ask for a team meeting. They have to provide you with the team meeting. They have to provide you with the date, the team meeting. They have to provide you with team meeting. You notice it's all the shoot, everything. Okay, everything. The reason why they stopped the due process was because it was stupid. It was stupid. And you can also get them for harassment. I'm thinking. I don't know all the details. I'm basing that answer on what you just said. So based on what you just said, the lawyer not showing up and then they dropped it. And I mean, it just sounds like major harassment. and trying to intimidate you. So, Laura Duos, honey. D-U, yes, Laura is fed. OSAP. Wonderful thing. Check out my website, guys. Here. I got a lot of stuff on my website. Let's see if I can remember it this time. Sure. Nope. I don't know if I could do it or not, but yeah, that's it right there. Need sped answers. Okay. Check it out. I got a whole bunch of stuff on that. And my YouTube channel, I have a whole, but I have like, I think I saw it was 83 videos. Okay. And it's on mostly filing complaints, filing for due process. There's a whole bunch. There's a quickie one. It's like the Cliff Notes. It's a little cartoon girl. She writes everything down. You guys can stop the video from moving. Do you understand? You can stop it. Okay. You can stop it. So you just wait for her to write and then it's good. Okay. So watch this. Let me show you. Let me show you a trick. No, that's not what I want. I'm going to show you the video. Okay. So, where is it? Okay, that didn't come out the way I wanted. Okay, so why is it doing all this great stuff? Okay, anywho, let's do that. All right, so why is it not moving? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what this is the cartoon on how to file a state complaint. Now, the reason why I'm showing you guys this stuff, first of all, is because the way to start filing a due process complaint is the same process you use to file. There's a busy stuff going on in my thing. Wait a minute. To file a okay. This is getting dizzy. To file a due process hearing. It's the same exact process. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this is my video. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it. This is the one thing at that. You must cite a regulation. So here we go. You must cite a regulation in your complaint. So here's where the regulations are. Stop. When you file a due process hearing, you also have to do the same thing. The difference is they're different laws. Okay. So let me show you. Okay. Present. Where'd it go? Shoot. Okay. So now I'm going to show you the laws for filing a complaint. Everything has a law, and the laws have a process. Okay. These laws are specifically for the school district. Do you understand? These laws were designed to make sure they follow them. It's not you. So let's go over here. So 5034 CFR 300.507. Okay. What I just did is punch in the law for you guys. Okay. So you see what it says? Filing a due process complaint. All right. See, we're going to do it like this because this is wonderful stuff. Okay. Like I told you guys, your complaint, when you file a complaint, you got to cite a law. Okay. You got to cite a violation. Your allegation is called an allegation. Okay. You're making an allegation that the school district didn't do their job. They didn't implement the IEP. And because they didn't implement the IEP, or they didn't do evaluations, or whatever they did, they denied your kid FAPE. First and foremost, everything you do, you have to say the school district denied FAPE. Okay. So here it is right here. I want you to look at that. Okay. It says the due process complaint must allege a violation that occurred not more than 2 years. Now, let me tell you the difference between, like this. In my description of this video today, I told you there are major differences between a complaint and a due process hearing, but also there are similarities. For instance, when you file a complaint, a state complaint for an investigation, Takes 60 days. Period. You're done. Okay. You file the complaint, you get the answer, you get the findings. If they issue corrective action, the school district has a timeline. You get the letter from the state. The state says this is what you have to do within this timeline. You don't, we're going to take some money. That's what they do. Okay. Now, when you file a state complaint, you can only go back 1 year from the date that you filed the state complaint for an investigation. 1 year. Okay. 60 days, you're all done, yada, yada, yada. Now, I just found out that according to OSEP, you can dispute the findings of the state complaint if you disagree with them in a separate action, which means you would have to file for a hearing, okay, on the dispute findings. Now, according to at least Massachusetts, they like to invent their own laws so they can do workarounds so that they can get away with more stuff. So they had a law that said that the hearing officers could not review the findings. It's not reviewable by a hearing officer. Right. OSEP said, yeah, no. Yes, it is. Most certainly is. And I sent you guys that. I showed you the guys that email from the last video. I can do it again. No worries. Okay. Just in case some poophead from another state tries to say, oh, no, you can't dispute. Yes, you can. Listen to the words coming out. It's not an appeal. You're not appealing their decision. You're disputing the decision in a separate action. Okay. Now, I told you about sovereign immunity. They like to say they have sovereign immunity. Again, with the I. No, they don't have sovereign immunity because when the states accepted the special education money, yeah, they waived that. So you can't sue the state. That sovereign immunity is that you can't sue the state. Yes, you can because it's waived when you accepted the money, when the state accepted the special ed money. That's just an overview of what happened last time on our complaint. But here we go again. So let's look at this again. It says, so like I said, one of the differences, see right here, not more than 2 years before the date the parent or the public agency knew or should have known about the alleged action that forms the basis of the due process hearing, or if the state has an explicit timeline under this part in the time allowed by the state law, except that the exceptions to the timeline described apply to the timeline in this section. So basically what that means, you can't go back more than 2 years in a due process complaint, okay? 2 years. So it's 2 years from the date you file your due process hearing. This is information you need to know before you go file it, because let me tell you why. Facts, law, evidence. That means you can use 2 of the IEPs, okay, from within that 2-year period of time, okay? All the evaluations that were done, you can use all of them in your complaint as evidence to support your allegations. 9 times out of 10, your allegation is something to the effect that they didn't implement the IEP. The IEP is not reasonably calculated to address your kid's unique needs, and therefore the IEP denies FAPE. I mean, there's just so many things. It's just disgusting. But anyway, you can go back 2 years. So all of your evidence goes back 2 years. When you file a complaint, just like a state investigation, you have to stay within the confines of your complaint and what you're alleging, okay? You can't go beyond the scope of what you're alleging. The more you allege, the bigger the scope. However, I wouldn't suggest going big, but there is a sort of hiccup with due process. One of the, and I'll find the law, but there is a regulation that if the parent didn't bring it up during the hearing, she had an opportunity, so she can't come back. So I got to go look that up because there's always that little hiccup in there, and I know that law, and I can't always remember what it is, but you guys need that information. So what I do is I keep it simple, okay? I always keep it simple because we're not dealing with very bright individuals, okay? So we have to keep it real. I'm just keeping it real. In my experience, in the 25 years plus that I've been doing this, the school district, the hearing officer, the State Department of Education, their whole life's ambition was to make anything like this as difficult as possible. So you have to be prepared. So the first thing you have to do is we have to go. Wait a minute. We have to go and we have to look at exactly what you need for this. Okay. So let's go look again and see. Where's my little thing? Okay. So you must cite a regulation. We got that. So let's keep it rolling. Okay. So we did that. Okay. Here's another one. I just said it. You have to be organized, people. Okay. So every state has a state complaint form. Okay. I just want to get done with the writing and I'm going to stop it. And we're going to go over. Whoop. Move too fast. Okay. Whoops. Okay. So we'll do it. Okay. Good. All right. So the first thing you need to do is get organized, guys. So this is what you guys do. What I need you guys to do is pretend from this day going forward that you're in a hearing. I want you to pretend you're in a hearing. Okay. And so what that means is every email you get, you read. Okay. Every email you read, you save it to your hard drive. Okay. If you guys don't know how to save an email to a hard drive, let me know. I will show you how to save an email to your hard drive. You have to create folders for them on your computer. Okay. You guys, I don't, and if you know how to use your phone like that, fine. I don't care. But being organized, okay, making sure you have all of these documents way ahead of time makes things a lot easier when you're going to file against them. Anticipate that this is going to be an issue. And so always read everything they give you because there's some nuggets of information in there that they do a tell all the time. They will put things in writing that are violations of the law. They will say crazy stuff like, we don't do that here. You can't have that type of service. We don't do that kind of an evaluation. They say these things to you and they put it in writing. That's what you want. That's a violation because evaluations have to be technically sound. They have to be done by a person who's licensed in that particular field. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stuff. So when they put this stuff in writing to you, when they say, or when you go to them and you ask them for something, and they tell you verbally, what you do is you go home and you file you send an email and you write everything they said, you write it down and you say, I just want to be clear. We had a discussion today, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And I asked you this, and this was your response. That's all you say. Don't say nothing else. Their job is to know these laws. It's not your job to teach them the laws. Stop it. It's not your job. Your job is to report them when they violate the laws. That's your job. Okay. You don't get paid to monitor them. No. When they don't implement your kid's IEP, or they write a crazy IEP, like one of my clients right now. She has an IEP, and according to this IEP, she's in school 8 hours. 8 hours a day. She doesn't have an extended day program. The school district's person from the SPED department, he actually sends us an email, and he can't count either. He adds it up all kind of wrong. The math ain't mathing, dude. Where did you go to school? But they love putting this stuff in writing because they think it makes them look like they have a lot of smarticles. They don't have smarticles. They're stupid. Stupid. Understand they're stupid. Because I'm telling you, the regulations are not that difficult to decipher. They're just not. They're written in plain, simple English. All you have to remember is this. When you're reading the regulations, okay, let me show you again. When you're reading the regulations, all you have to remember is this. Watch, I'm going to show you. You're going to be like, what? This is how you read the regulations. So you read this regulation, right? You know how you think of it in your brain? You say, so the school district may file, okay, so the parent or public agency may file a due process complaint on any manners described in 503. We're going to go look at that right now. Okay? And it says right here, relating to the identification, evaluation, or placement of a child or the provision of faith. Okay? And clearly they haven't read an email written by Raven Woods. She is the math. That's my girl. That's how you do it. You guys don't understand. The E in email stands for evidence. Do you know how many people right now that are in it up to their eyeballs? Have you guys seen the crap on Fox News and how those people got busted with all of their texts and their emails? They're everywhere. I mean, it makes them look like colossal idiots. You understand? They're being sued. That's where we got all that information from a lawsuit. Okay? From a lawsuit. Don't play, man. You put everything in writing. Don't, anytime they tell you some stuff and you're going to yourself like, what? That don't sound right. If you don't feel like it sounds right, it's not. You understand? It's not right. So what you have to do is you have to put it in writing, and all you say is, I just need some clarification. We had a discussion today, and you said this, that, and the other thing. You said because you don't have staff, that somehow what you're doing with my kid's IEP is okay. Because you don't have the staff. What? Do you know, okay, just for the record, do you guys know that under IDEA, the school district must hire, train, retain, and recruit the appropriate staff to implement your kid's IEP? Did you guys know that? And if they don't, it's a violation. And because the ding-dong that doesn't have any credentials, or because, they went and got the cafeteria worker to implement your kid's IEP. Yeah. Hi, Wendy. Good evening. Homeschool mom of one. Do you realize that if they do that, it's a denial of faith for every single second of every single minute? The person without the credentials is working with your kid. Yeah. That's why they say wild stuff. That's why you got to put it in writing. So when they say to you, what? You go, what? And you go, wait a minute. Are you kidding? Okay. Just for clarification, I asked and they have to give you the person's. Do you guys know that you can go online in most of the departments of education and you can actually look up the teacher's name to see if the teacher has credentials? And then if you don't get them, you can just make the accusation, file a complaint. Now you get the records to show that that person is either licensed or not. Okay? And in that complaint, you say that you owe me compensatory services. And those dummies are going to say, no, we don't, because we didn't have the people, blah, blah. So let me get this straight. So the kids with disabilities, they don't get, it doesn't matter if they get a person who doesn't have credentials. The typical kids, though, they get all of that. All of that. My kid doesn't, because my kid has a disability. Now we're talking discriminatory practices against an individual for the sole purpose that your kid has a disability. Because you know what? All the other damn teachers in there, all those other kids in school, typical kids, they got teachers with credentials. And do you know it's part of the IDEA contract with the school? They have to have people who have credentials. Would you go to a doctor who didn't have credentials? No. Why would your kid get an education by some cafeteria worker? No offense to cafeteria workers, but they're not teachers. They can't teach anything. And there are paraprofessional regulations, federal, 34 CFR 300.156, federal. They have to have credentials. Everybody, federal law. Everybody, they're in violation. So let's get back to the show because this is going to be a very long show. A very long series. Okay, so you file for a hearing, and this is what you cite. What you cite is, so a lot of times it's about an evaluation. So the evaluation procedure. So if it has anything to do with the evaluations in your complaint, okay, that we're talking about, in your complaint, you write that the school district violated the where is it? Oops. Yeah. The school district violated the list violations. Okay. So this is us getting organized. So before you go and do anything with the state, okay, the first thing you need to do is get the forms. Okay, get the forms. Because if you don't fill out the forms right and you're filing a complaint, the opposing party can come back and say that it's insufficient. And if it's insufficient, it can be dismissed. 9 times out of 10, if you're pro se and you didn't put in your name, address, and telephone number, and you didn't put in the particulars or anything of the form, the hearing officer will say, just go fill out that form correctly and then resubmit it, and you're good. And that'll be the end of it. But they can file for a motion to dismiss on the basis that you didn't fill out the form right. So there's not it's in the hearing request would be considered to be insufficient. Okay. So the first thing you do is get the form, and the forms are easy. I'm not even kidding. Every state has a form. All you have to do is this. You go in and you type in. Let me see if I can do it for you. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to do it. All you have to do is you go in. If to get the complaint form, you type in the name of your state. So let's say it's Illinois. You type in the Illinois Department of Education special education forms. Okay, so this is what I did. And of course, I just didn't do it right because where'd you go now? There you are. Okay, I didn't do it right. All right, good, I did do it. Okay, good. So I'm going to show you what I did just to show you how to get it, okay? Because the first step is getting the form. You don't have the form, you're screwed, okay? So, all right, this is what I did. You see up here? Where did I type? Oh, this is what I typed in, see? Illinois Department of Education due process complaint form. That's all I typed in. And here it is. Due process, and here's the form. Okay, here it is right here. You can click on it. I don't know what's going to happen because it doesn't want to work. Allow. I don't. Oh, shoot. I don't want it to. Let's do it again. It's supposed to open. I don't understand. Oh, okay. We'll do this. Okay. It did open. What will happen is you download it, and then it looks like this. Okay. So now I got to show it to you again. Window. Here. Okay. So this is what, okay. See what it says? Illinois. So that's all I did. And I got the link. I don't know why it's not working. It was probably not working because I already had it open on another link. Anyway. So it says parents request for an impartial due process hearing officer. So the instructions are here. Look at guys. Don't make this harder than it is. It is what it is. Read it and just do what it says. Okay? For instance, this form has been developed to assist parents in requesting an impartial due process hearing. The completed form must be given to the superintendent of the school. This is what goes on in Illinois. Every state is different. In Massachusetts, we file the form. And matter of fact, we can do it. It's uploaded. We can upload all of the documents. We fill out the form. We send it to them. And then we get a notice in the mail saying that this is our BSEA hearing officer number. Hearing number. Okay. So, but right here, it tells you, it says within 5 days of receipt of the request for a hearing. So after you submit this to the school superintendent, even to the superintendent of the okay. Within 5 days of receipt of the request for a hearing, the local school district will forward a copy of the completed form to Illinois Board of Education, okay, to be shared with the appointed hearing officer. A local school district may not deny a request for a due process hearing. That's not their job. You see what it says up here? They can't look at your thing and tell you, well, you didn't do this. And no, that's none of your business. You have to tell them to do their job and to send this damn form over there. Nobody asked them to look at it because only the hearing officer can tell you anything that's wrong or whatever about your complaint. Only the hearing officer, not the school superintendent. Ever. Only the hearing officer. All parties involved in the dispute are advised to review the due process regulations found at, here it is right here. So then you go get these, honey. This is what you go get. Okay? You go get these. These are online in Illinois. To get the code, you just look it up. You just type in that and you will get, and that's the next thing you have to do. You have to know what your due process regulations are, okay? What the procedures are in your state. So you have to go look at this. Now, it's real easy. Don't make it more than it is. Don't do it, okay? The information reported on this form will be subject to the confidentiality requirements of the IDEA and the Illinois student records, okay? So they can't release this to anybody. Once you give it to the school superintendent, all he has to do is send it to Illinois Department. I don't know why they got all this middleman stuff going on. New York does the same thing. In Massachusetts, real simple. Just send it. Why the middleman thing, I don't know. Because now what we're going to have is a whole bunch of problems because they're all stupid. Because somebody don't know how to do something right. So anyway. So then you see, you just go in there and you just type. And you just answer all of these boxes. That's all you do. And then you can print it out, I believe. So we'll just go see print. See where it says print? Or reset the form. So if you make a mistake, you click reset and the name goes away. See? Gone. That's the first thing you have to do. Okay? You have to get your forms. Okay. Well, the first thing is you have to gather all of your crap. Okay? You have to get all of your evidence lined up. Go back 2 years if you have to. Okay? You go back 2 years. And then if you go back 2 years, where is that? You have to make sure you get everything. So this is what I came up with. This is what I do. So I get the state complaint form for that state. I go and look at their regs. Okay. Then I start listing 9 times out of 10. I pretty much know what the violations are. So I just get a piece of paper and I just start listing all of the violations that I think the school district did. So the first thing is denial of FAPE. Right off the rip, denial of FAPE. Number 2, they didn't implement the IEP. Number 3, they owe compensatory services because they didn't implement the IEP. Okay? So that's how you do it. So then, now I got to go gather the evidence. Okay? I got to gather the evidence for those 3 things. We'll just do it that way. So now I got to go get any emails that has to do with me saying to them, what the hell? Or, I'm going to do this. I got to get the IEPs that I said they didn't implement. I got to get any and all emails concerning that I wrote to them and that they responded to having to do with this particular issue. I got to go get them all. Okay? I got to make sure I have everything. Then I got to have, let me see. You want the team meeting notes. So now you start asking for stuff. Okay? So what you do is you ask the school district for your kids' records. All of them. All of them. Wherever they are. Whatever has your kid's name on it. That's what you want. You don't care where it's located. You don't care what desk it is. You don't care what telephone number is attached to it. Who you got to call. You got to go across town. Don't care. Doesn't matter where your kid's record is. The law is clear. Wherever the records are, you have a right to them. You want them. So now what you can do is, and I can, as we go through this, I'm going to show you where you can get the laws so that you can attach them so you know these are the laws they broke. So now as you're gathering information, they might be breaking some more laws. You got to add that too. So when you ask them for your kids' records, okay, because you're not sure, maybe you're wrong. Okay, maybe you're wrong. Maybe they did implement it and you just forgot, or you didn't look at it right. So you want all of the evaluations, and they have to give them to you, especially if your kid is getting free or reduced lunch. Okay. Now, in some states, they say you have to meet some criteria. You have to be 400 below poverty to get them for free. Okay. But if you can't afford to pay a fee for your kid's records because your kid gets your kid doesn't get free lunch or reduced lunch, if you still may not have to. Now in Massachusetts, which somebody brought something up to my attention, which I'm going to find out, Massachusetts has this thing that there's a scale, but what they want you to do is fill out the paperwork, so to prove that you can't afford it, and so they can't charge you. So there's an income thing there, but that's for we'll talk about it some more later. Okay, but for the most part, what you have to do is get your kids' records. You want everything. You want everything with your kid's name on it. Okay, because a lot, and then you're going to get into it where you want emails. Okay, so you're going to go look at all of your emails before but filing for a hearing. This is what lawyers do. They ask you for everything. This is why they cost so much money. Okay, this is what they do. Even if, let's say hypothetically, you're not going to do this yourself, the more work you do on putting your kids' shit together before you hire an attorney, the more organized you are, the less money it's going to cost you. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to show you guys how to put your books together and everything. So by the time, if you decide after reading all of this, if you decide after reading what you came up with, that you're going to hire an attorney, your book is going to be on point. And the lawyer is going to say, who did this? You're going to say, I did. What do you mean, who did this? Because I'm going to show you how to put the book together the way the lawyers put it together. That's what we're going to do. Okay? So now you got the list. So now you've decided you got the evidence. So you make sure you make a big pile. Okay? Now what you need to do, I'm going to help you out. You write the list first of all the evidence after you cite the violations. Okay? In a violation, you don't have to go look up the law. You're just making a list. Okay? But here's all you have to remember. Under IDEA, there's 4 areas, okay, that you can get them for in a hearing. And you can get them all together, separately, a couple here, a couple there. There's no rhyme or reason how you do it. But it's got to have one of these things, okay? First, it's got to cite a law. It's got to cite a law that they violated, okay? Then you have to show, I just lost my train of thought. You have to show the violation of the law. You don't have to cite, you're just making the list right now. You don't have to cite the law, but there's 4 areas. There's they violated the provision of FAPE, okay? That they denied you the right to an appropriate placement, okay? I know I'm going to have to go look it up. So it's placement, it's denial of FAPE, and the evaluation procedures. They denied you, they didn't evaluate in all areas of suspected disability. There's one more. Hate my life. There's one more. It's always one more. Wait a minute, guys. I always forget. Okay. So it's the identification of your kid. So if you told them that your kid is a child with a disability, this is what I believe identification is. It doesn't make sense to me, but the identification of your kid, it's when you go to a school and you say your kid has a disability and they say, you say your kid has autism. And they say, no, he doesn't. Just because. Even though you have a diagnosis from a reputable doctor who's provided you with a whole list of assessments they did, and the morons still come back to you and say, no, your kid doesn't have autism. Your kid has emotional disturbance. because they don't know there's a big difference between emotional disturbance and autism. Shh. They don't want us to know that they don't know. Yeah, they know. They know there's a big difference. But let me tell you why they pretend that emotional disturbance is autism. You know why? When they look at a kid with autism, they see dollar signs. That's why. Because kids with autism, sometimes they need a lot of stuff. Lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff. And the school district doesn't want to give it to them because apparently all of that special ed money is theirs. It's not your kids. So your kid can't have an education because they're cheap. I have a problem with that. I really do. I have a problem with people. I'm scanning my son's educational records from pre-grade and fourth grade. They're going to hate me when I request a fourth grade cut. That's right. Get it all, girl. All of it. Get it all. Get a binder, guys. This is what I think you guys should do. You shouldn't have that many records from year to year. This is what you do. You get a big, giant 3-ring binder. You get you some tabs, okay? And on the front of the book, you put 2022/2023 school year, okay? Everything, all the emails, everything, they go in there. Just put them in there. Get ready, okay? That's the first step, all right? Get ready. Separate them by the IEPs, the IEP amendments, the progress reports, IEP progress reports. All of that stuff has to be tabbed separately. Put them in chronological order, okay, with the newest one in front. That's how you do it. Then you will have all of your kids booked for every year. Okay, you have it. Now, if you're going to go do 2 years, make sure you separate them. Okay, then you can put your kid in, and you instead of just do the 2 books for 2 years, but then the rest of the records you can put in a filing cabinet and number it the same way, but it's not in a binder. Then just if you might need that stuff. Okay, sometimes you can go beyond the scope of a hearing of 2 years if you can prove that the prior stuff had something to do with the stuff that's in the scope, the 2-year stuff. And I know that sounds weird, but there is a way that could happen. Okay, it's happened to me. So, and it's because of the shenanigans that go on at the school. Okay, so here we go. So we gathered that. List the remedy. Okay, so just like a complaint, you got to cite the violations. You got to allege a violation of IDEA. You got to tell the problem, okay? And then you got to cite what you want. You got to include a remedy, a requested relief. That's what you want. Call it a requested relief, okay? So now you start listing what you want on your little piece of paper. What do you want? Just like I asked that lady tonight. What do you want? I want my kid to be evaluated by I need a functional behavioral assessment by a board certified behaviorist because the dingaling that did it before didn't have credit until the first. No training. She knew what she was doing. This BSP is poo-poo caca. Easy peasy. Now, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to go to my website. Okay. You go to my website and what you do is I'm going to put the web. Oh, there it is. You go to my website. And on my website, I have documents that you guys, I have a, what do you call it? A list. It's a form requesting evaluations. Okay. So here it is right here. Go to this website. That's not it. That's not it. Wait a minute, guys. I don't know what that was. Oh, it changed it. Jesus Christ. Wait a minute, guys. Copy. Okay. Paste. Sorry. I just pasted the same thing. Okay, if you go to my website, I have form letters there. So if you're asking for records, there's the student record ones there. You can use it to help you write yours. Okay. Now, I can't remember, but I think The one that I have posted is specifically for Massachusetts because there's a little hiccup in there with Massachusetts. So I put in, I think, Massachusetts law. So you just want to like take out what you want and put it in yours. Download it to your computer, save it, and write sample request for student records. Okay. So then that way you can cut and paste whatever you want. And the same thing for if you want, I have another letter, if you want to use it to make a request for evaluations. Okay. So my letter doesn't just say, I want a speech and language eval. Mine actually says the areas that you want assessed. And I got all the information from Pearson Clinical. So I looked up all of these evaluations and then I said, okay, what are the areas that these evaluations include? So I cut and pasted different areas of different evaluations that were in the same category. So there were several speech and language evaluations. So I cut and pasted a bunch of them that I thought a kid would know, that a kid would need, and I put them in this letter. And I did that for a whole bunch of OT, PT, speech and language, academics, IQ testing, everything. Just download it to your computer. You can use it any way you want. I think it's a fill-in form, but I'm not sure. So you can cut and paste the information that you want, put it in a letter. Because here's the thing, the more definitive you are, the more I don't understand what happened, but anyway, the more definitive you are in making your request to the school district eliminates a lot of, well, we really didn't understand. You didn't understand? What part didn't you understand about this request? What? I didn't list the area? Yes, I did. And therein lies their problem. Because the more definitive you are in requesting the testing, the appropriate testing, the worse it is for them. Okay? Because they got two choices. Do it or don't. They got two choices. They either do it if they don't. Now, if you ask the school district to do the evaluations and the school district doesn't do all of it, you have a record now that you made a request for the school district to assess your kid in all. These were your concerns. And the district decided, we're not going to do that. We're going to do it our way. So when you go to file for a hearing, you use that letter. And then you take that letter, okay, and the consent form that they sent you. Yeah. And now you got two different letters and you signed consent. Now, when you sign consent and the consent doesn't have all of your stuff, you write on that consent and you say, this isn't all of the assessments I requested. Or you can send them a letter and say, I asked for way more than this. Everything you do with them, you put it in writing. Because they're going to deny it. Even though you put it in writing and you could show it to them, I'm telling you, I've had them look me right in the face and lie and say they didn't do that. We did do all of the testing. Where? Show me where this testing is. Now, like I said, even if you are not going to do the hearing, the person that's going to do it is going to love you to pieces, because all you have to do is take that book and download it or send it to the advocate. Her work is done, or that person's work is done, because you just cut all of this in half. The person goes through it and they're like, holy shit. So what do you need me for? You did all. Well, I can't do the hearing. And it's hard. Doing a hearing is hard, because what we're going to talk about as we're doing these series, we're going to talk about motions. We're going to talk about how you question witnesses. We're going to tell you how you develop the questions for the witnesses to match the evidence, because you can't ask any old question to anybody that you got as a witness. Your questions have to actually be for the person. It has to match. So if person A sent you an email, but the person that sent the email, you're asking person B about that email because their name's in it. You can't do that, because they're not the author. They just put those people's names on it, just like I told you guys that you put Laura Duos on some stuff. Laura Duos didn't send the email. So we can't ask her anything. If we were in a hearing, I couldn't ask her because we didn't send it to her. We sent it to her, but the person that's going to take action on that isn't Laura Duos. It was actually sent and addressed to a particular person. So when you're in a hearing, You have to ask the person about what that person did, not what somebody else did. You can only ask the person that's testifying what that person did. And that's the same way you do when you're in a team meeting. Using those types of rules in your head will help you get through a lot of team meetings. It's going to piss them off, believe that, because they don't want to answer those questions. And you end a question with, is that correct? You ask them a question and you say, so you didn't provide my kid with this service. Is that correct? You start saying it like that. That's what you do when you're doing questioning. Okay? You say, is that correct? Every time they say something, is that correct? Didn't I ask you for you to send me prior written notice? Is that correct? And they're going to look at you. Well, yes, it is. Well, I didn't get it, and I'm going to need you to send it to me because that's a violation. We agreed to do this, this, and this, and then you didn't follow through. Is that correct? They hate it. It's fun. That's how you get them, okay? We're going to talk more about witnesses and stuff like that and actually how you create it, okay? So now, you got the remedy. So you want your kid to be evaluated, okay, by a person who is licensed and certified in that particular discipline, and you want the evaluation to include a summary and to make recommendations, okay, if need be. And let me see, you want an OT and you want a PT and all of the same things apply to that. You want a person who's licensed and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Or you could say, and I want to call, like, let's say one of the things was you didn't get the records and you want all of the records that you requested that they didn't give you. And here's a list. Here's a list of all of the records they didn't give you. They either have these records or they don't. And they need to tell you if they don't have the records. And there's going to be a problem if they don't have the records. I told you, you have to remember something about this. IDEA is a paper trail fool. I mean, every single piece of that law, 307 pages, is all about the paper trail. They have to do something in writing. In order to implement the IDEA, the school district has to put everything in writing. Can you ask for phone call records? You can, but what would that phone call record look like? It's just a telephone number. You see what I'm saying? And the cool thing now, see, back in the day, I couldn't get that because we just had landlines. Our cell phones now show calls coming in, calls going out, who we dialed, has all their telephone numbers in it. So you can submit. I did that one time, actually. I hated this lawyer for the school. I friggin' hated her. So we go to a hearing, and we accuse them of providing my client with an outdated, it was the DRA2. I think it was a DRA. It was a DRA2. It was a reading program. And we alleged that the program they were using was outdated. And so we wanted a copy of their books. Our out-of-district coordinator only speaks to school by phone, so nothing is in writing. I know, honey. This is what I'm telling you. You say, pursuant to our conversation today, you said this, this, and this. She's doing that on purpose. So you work around that, honey. You do it. She doesn't have to. Because here's the thing. If you put it in writing, she has to respond. And what she's going to try to do is ring, ring, hello. Don't answer the phone. Don't answer the phone. Then you send her an email and you say, I'm sorry. If you want to have something to talk to me about, it's going to have to be in writing. So I sent you an email, blah, 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 blah. Take it or leave it. See, because in a hearing, you have an email that you asked her a question and she has nothing to say that she responded. That's on your side. That's a check mark on your side. That's a win. Paper trails are fun. You just got to keep it in your head. If they don't answer you, it's wonderful. It's asking for N2 useful to curve districts to explain themselves and then have this as a record. An N2. Are you from Massachusetts? Christina? I think you are. Conversations between the state administrator and out-of-district coordinator about your kid, that's hard, honey, because you have to prove it's a conversation. It's verbal. So you have to prove that they had a conversation, and that's why you need that record. You understand? Remember, facts, law, and evidence. You have to prove that they had a conversation. They have conversations all the time about kids. You are. Okay. The N2 isn't it the N2 a description of the conversation that went on? If the N2 is what I think it is, that it contains the narrative, then all you have to do is read the narrative, and if it's inaccurate, correct it and send it back to them. They busted me on that too before because I didn't call them on it in writing. And one of the lawyers says, no, PWN. Okay, wait a minute. So now I gotta look. Conversation. What did you ask me? Our out-of-district coordinator only speaks to school by phone, so nothing is in writing. Oh, because can you ask for phone call records? For I'm confused now. For prior written notice? Conversation between sped director and out-of-district coordinator in email record, very little there because they speak by phone. Nobody cares. Okay. Let me see if I can explain it to you. No, two different issues. Okay. Pick one. Then we'll do one at a time. Okay. So wait, let me explain something to you. A phone call record is not going to help you. The an email, that's going to help you. So she only does things by phone, her bad. That's to your benefit. What is she going to say? Well, I told so-and-so to go and do this and she didn't. Where's the record? There's no record of it. But you have a record that you asked her for this and she never responded. That's why I do not take calls. It doesn't matter what she's doing with somebody else. Having a phone record is just going to have the telephone number and the amount of minutes. It's not going to say what the conversation was about. How are you going to prove that conversation, if they had one? So let's say they're both on the phone at the same time. And let's say that the phone call was 15 minutes. How are you going to prove that conversation that they had for 15 minutes between them was about your kid? Right. So I don't know why you're asking me that. Don't do that. If you can't prove it, don't use it. Don't set yourself up. Okay, let me tell you a little trick lawyers do. You never ask a question you already don't know the answer to when you're in a hearing. Okay? And I'm telling you, it works like a charm because the evidence speaks for itself. Okay? If you line up your ducks right, the evidence will speak for itself. Okay? So, I learned that from... That's right. Thank you. That's right, Wendy. So, you don't need a phone record. What you need is email. So, I tell you guys all the time, I know they don't like to put anything in writing. Lord, no, they like to ring, ring, hello. Yeah, bite me. No ring, ring, hello. Even if they get you, and they get you on the phone and ring, ring, hello, what you do is, as soon as the conversation is over, you send them an email and you say, just for clarification, we just had a conversation about yada, yada, yada. And you said this, and I said that. And your response was yada, yada, yada. Is that correct? She'll ring, ring, hello. Then you do it again. And she's going to say, she can't talk to you. You say, listen, you're going to have to tell me in writing, because here's the thing. Whenever you ask for something, okay, that you need for your kid, always premise that request with my son needs it or my daughter needs it to access the general curriculum. That's called FAPE. That's FAPE. To access the general curriculum. Without this particular thing, without the speech and language, without the OT, without the assistive technology, my kid can't access the general curriculum. Without a behavior support plan, can't access the general curriculum. Behavior's off the chain. Can't write. Kids' writing is horrible. No, he can't even understand what he wrote. Never mind the teacher. So my kid is not accessing the general curriculum. Nobody can read his writing. He can't either. See what I'm saying? You get it? E equals evidence. The E in email equals evidence. Understand? And it's the most powerful thing ever. And now you can go after text messages. Text messages are wonderful. Schools are dumb. I've had parents show me text messages from the school department. Text messages are just like emails. They can be, if it's about your kid and it's about what you're talking about in your complaint, you can enter them as evidence. Okay, so text messages, emails, phone calls are hard. You don't know who they're talking about, and you're talking about the SPED director and the out of district coordinator. They could be talking about anybody's kid. You don't know, and that's what they'll say under oath. I don't know what you're talking about, and the lawyer's going to say absolutely not. You know this doesn't make any sense. You're asking for their phone records. What for? To prove what? They had conversations? Of course they have conversations. One person is the SPED director and the other person is the out-of-district coordinator. Believe me, they're going to talk. The out-of-district coordinator cannot make a decision about a placement without the special ed director okaying it. The out-of-district coordinator only has a job because the SPED director okayed an out-of-district placement, hence an out-of-district coordinator. See what I'm saying? So, here we go right here. So this is the, I don't know what I'm doing. This is the part that the reason why I'm really not pushing it. Now, the next time I'm going to show you motions and witnesses, and we're going to talk about witnesses. What do you need for a witness? Wait a minute. Okay. So we talked about filling out the form. We talked about the list of violations, how you write it up. It doesn't matter if you don't have the law, because I'm going to show you later on how to get the laws to match it up. But we already discussed is 4 things you need. It needs to be about placement. It needs to be about evaluations. It needs to be about the identification of your kid, whether or not the school districts are saying your kid doesn't have a disability when your kid does. And your kids, they're refusing to do an evaluation, or they did an evaluation and they tried to change your kid's disability from autism to ED, emotional disturbance, or they've just decided your kid doesn't have a disability, even though you have medical records that say they do, that you gave to the school already. Okay, that's another thing. School districts can't diagnose your kid. That's not their role. Medical professional, that's their role. Okay, and schools usually don't have doctors on staff diagnosing kids. That's not their job to diagnose. Their job is to educate. You need a medical diagnosis, you go to your doctor. Oh my God, I got to tell you guys something. So somebody just brought something up and I almost had a conniption fit. Speaking of medical, you guys all know that medication never comes up at a team meeting. It's like forbidden. There's an actual law. They cannot tell you to go put your kid on any kind of medication to make their life easy. Tell them to bite you. Tell them to put that crap in writing. You dare them. Tell them. It's a violation to the 10th power. Because the ding-dong sitting at the table telling you to go put your kid on Adderall or Cylert or Ritalin or any damn drug. Bipolar meds. Yeah, that ding-dong sitting at the table telling you to do that does not have a medical degree. And so what they're doing to you is they're telling you to go tell the doctor to put your kid on medication. And parents do this. And the doctors do what the parents say. You know what happened to one of my clients one time? I was so fucking mad. So mad. So this kid was going through a little problem in school and with her mom. For years that they had been so close, and it was just her, those two together, and then the mother got a boyfriend, and it's the same old story. The kid got jealous, and a whole bunch she started acting out. So the mother goes to the counselor, and the mother's telling the counselor all of this crap the kid's doing. It was basically normal behavior for this kid. She's just acting out, and she's feeling some kind of way, and so the doctor wrote a prescription for a psychotropic drug. The kid had never taken anything like it. She started feeling funny, so she took it for a while. She started feeling funny. She took herself off it. Okay, this is because doctors are listening to parents instead of actually doing evaluations and getting to know and saying, go to a counselor. And the counselor, when you get meds from a doctor, the doctor knows you. You've been there several times. Or the counselor knows you. They understand how your mind works and what the issues are. And so it doesn't happen overnight. You just don't go into a counselor And if that's happening, stop seeing that counselor. But anyway, she goes and does that. And what happens is, because the kid took herself off the medication, and then she really flipped out. It got real bad because her body was like, what the hell are you doing? So now she's not getting the meds that her body got used to in a very short period of time. So now she started flipping out. Thankfully, she got weaned off the medication properly. And then she was in a group home. And I made a deal with her at a team meeting. I said, you start acting right and listening to these people, and I will guarantee you I will get you in the public school come September. She did. This kid ended up, this is a wonderful story, it made me cry even when I went to the team meeting. This kid made the honor roll for 2 years in a row. I was still her advocate. She was about to graduate from high school. She got $60,000 from Elmira College to go play hockey on the boys' team. And you want to hear something funny? This kid was drop dead gorgeous. She was gorgeous. I mean, she was, she goes to take off her helmet and she had long, flowing blonde hair. She was built like a Mack truck. I mean, you couldn't tell her nothing. She was absolutely gorgeous. She had like a total of 8 different grants. But this is what a doctor did listening to a parent. Don't let the doctor. You guys you can't listen to nothing the school says medically about your kid. Absolutely nothing. If you go to the doctor, you say the school said they're seeing this, this, and this. I just need some evaluations done. What do you suggest? Don't tell the doctor what to do. That's what they want you to do. Don't. You tell them you want an evaluation to determine what your kid's problem is. That's what you do. You make them do their job. Do not get your kid on medication because some moron at the school is telling you, go put your kid on Ritalin. You know they did that to me, right? My kid had ADD. And the stupid school in Wareham, Massachusetts, told me go put my kid on medication. I looked at him for a long time. And I set up an appointment, though. My aunt came and told me, don't go to that doctor. I said, why? She said, everybody at the school, I was talking to them about you, and they said everybody at their school was telling them that doctor was giving out friggin' Ritalin and ADD meds. Like he lost his mind, like he had a pill factory in the backyard of his house. So I went to another doctor. So I went to the Wareham Public Schools and I told them I want a neuropsych. So this fool gives me a form and it says a psychological. I went right back up there again and I said, what part of I want a neuropsych Children's Hospital is not going to do a neuropsych when it says psychological? What part of this don't you understand? And get this, the school superintendent was a lawyer. That's when I became an advocate. That's when it started. My kid is now 44. Yeah. See how long I've been doing this? 44. Anywho, don't listen to doctors. Don't listen to any school people who think they know about medication for your kid. They don't. You tell them, excuse you. Do I tell you how to go raise your kid and put your kid on medication? Do I tell you to go take a pill? Because you need one. No, and then when they bring it up, it actually happened to me in several meetings. And I finally looked at the special ed director. I said, you got 2 minutes to give me your medical degree and your license to practice. Otherwise, the whole medication issue, done. I don't want to hear it anymore coming out of your mouth. Do you hear me? He just looked at me and everybody at the table was afraid of this man. I wasn't. He was a little short guy. I was 5'9", 6 feet tall in stiletto heels. And I was standing right next to him. Because you know what? He didn't like women with a good. So I tortured him all the time. I hated him. Anyway, so I wanted to tell you that quickly. So anyway, let's get back to this. I digress. So on this issue right here, so now you can start writing. Okay. And the writing part is pretty much the same for a state complaint than it is for a hearing. Okay. So here we go. So what we're going to talk about is, oh God, I hate, okay, so now we got to wait for the commercials. Put out. Okay. So I can't remember what this part is, but you're going to start writing your complaint. Now, there's several ways that you need to write your complaint, okay? So here we go. First, you made a list such as, and here they are right here, denial of FAPE, okay? Failure to provide prior written notice, failure to implement the IEP, failure to obtain consent, failure to allow the parent to participate in the team meeting, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, so we're going to stop right there. All of these issues can be in one complaint. Now, the reason why it can be is because once they violate one regulation, they violate a whole bunch. It's not just this one over here and then they're done. So, for instance, when denial of FAPE is huge, there's so many ways to deny FAPE. You deny FAPE by not evaluating in all areas of suspected disability. Okay. You deny FAPE when you write an IEP that's not reasonably calculated to address the student's unique needs. You deny FAPE when, what did I say? You didn't evaluate in all areas of suspected disability, which translates to the IEP. So now the IEP is not reasonably calculated because it doesn't include all areas of suspected disability. So the IEP is poo-poo caca. That's a denial of FAPE. Then you get them on top of all of that. They didn't implement the IEP. Really? They didn't implement the IEP. So the IEP that denies FAPE, that wasn't written properly to address your kid's unique needs, also, they didn't implement. And this, I'm telling you, the reason why these are all off the top of my head, this has actually happened in several, over the years, all the time. Okay? Now, they fail to provide you with prior written notice. So, for instance, prior written notice is for a lot of things. So, when you ask the school district for something, so you ask the school district for OT, school district says no. They have to send you prior written notice. In that prior written notice, they have to answer several questions. They have to tell you yes or no, okay? Then they have to tell you why they said no. They have to tell you what they used, assessments-wise, records, as to how they came to their conclusions of no. So there's like 7 questions, okay, on prior written notice. And I have a whole bunch of videos on prior written notice. Go look at them. And while you're in there, guys, I need you to subscribe to my channel, okay? I need you to hit that notification bell. I need you to like it, and I need you to put a comment in. I don't care if you say, hey, girl. I don't care. But if you have any questions about what's going on in this video, please ask them here. Don't ask them in unless it's personal information that you don't want. But if you can write over here in these comments what you guys ask me, please put these comments below. It changes the algorithm. That means I can get more people. And it's free. I'm doing all of this because I love advocating and I love teaching you guys. But, it's free. I don't charge for this. The more you guys help me, the more I can do it. We got several of these coming up. So I need you. Just like you need me, I need you. I need you guys to subscribe. I need you to tell everybody, come do this. Okay? Anyway, back to the program. So, failure to obtain consent. Consent is huge in IDEA. And it's a huge violation when they do it. If they test your kid, they need your consent. The only time they don't need your consent for testing is if the entire school is getting tested on the same test. But if your kid is getting tested, then they need consent. Period. If it's just your kid, they need consent. And if they're going to use that testing for anything, for instruction or to prove to you that your kid doesn't need something, they need your consent. And the first thing you do is ask for the consent. Could you just, and you don't say, I never signed it yet. You say, could you please send me a copy of the consent form? Put it in an email. You say, I seem to have misplaced it. You didn't misplace shit. They never sent it to you. But now you have a document that says you requested it. And guess what they didn't do? Answer you. They'll say something like, well, we don't need to do testing. It's okay. It's okay that they say the things that they say. Goody. It's evidence. If they say to you, oh, we didn't need that, and they really did, they're screwed. And they're stupid. Because before they answer you, they should go check with somebody. Just because they do this all the time doesn't mean it's now the law. It means that there seems to be a reason to do a systemic investigation because this is stupid. Anytime a school district tells you that they're breaking the law, you find out that their actions are breaking the law, and they say that's what we do here, file a systemic complaint on the whole school. Want to see something? I did that one time, me and my girl in New York. I'm going to show you something. You guys are going to die. We got where is it? Let me see if it can come up. There it is. We had 27 kids. 27 kids had to go and get tested because the stupid school district decided they didn't have to test that way. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, check it out. So let me see if I can do it. So, oops, I gotta move it around. I move this over here. Okay. So, see? Okay, that's it. So the investigation came about after a disability advocate filed a state complaint on behalf of a parent in the district. That was me. The parent, whose identity was chosen, alleged that due to the school's improper, you guys can't see that, huh? It's big over here, though. Wait a minute. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Okay. Due to the school's improper evaluation procedures, his or her child was not receiving necessary services such as one-on-one classroom support and counseling. That's what we alleged in our complaint. According to the results of the investigation, Dryden, the school district, did not carry out complete evaluations of the child in question, nor did it properly evaluate 26 other students. This actually happened. Tammy Joya, the special needs advocate who filed the complaint, said that she suspects that the district is skimping on expensive special needs services. They're saying, let's not, and say we did. This is an article in the paper. By failing to provide adequate evaluations, Joya said, the district may actually be costing the public more money in the long term, referencing the official position of the U.S. government. Joya said that if children with special needs do not receive necessary services during their school years, they are unlikely to become contributing members of society when they graduate. And it goes on and on and on and on. And then, let me see. Well, according to the state evaluation, which determines, so then it goes on. But anyway, so yeah. I gotta shut this down. So, these are the things that you guys can do. It's hard, I know, but just line up your ducks as much as you can, okay? If you do this, then you're going to be helping your kid way more than you think, okay? So another one of the things, I keep looking over there and I didn't do it right. Okay, we'll share screen. Wait. Where is it? Okay, another one of them was, okay, so failure to obtain consent. So you need consent for everything. So in that other one, they had to send out 26 consent forms to do evaluations, psychological included, for all of these kids in that district. And do you know what? I don't believe the parents knew that because the district did that, they could have all filed for denial of FAPE because all of them came out and they denied it. And so that would have been up here, denial of FAPE. Okay. So, So this is the first thing you do. You make a list. So let's go on to the next one. Let's see. Let me see what it is. Okay. So the second one, this is an actual video, guys, that I created. Go over there and go look at it. It's wonderful. Okay. So the second thing is go get the evidence to the violations you allege. Okay. So that's how you have to think of it. So you write down the allegations, right? And so now, oh God, stop. Okay. So now you have to match everything up. So you said they didn't implement the IEPs. So you got to go get the IEPs. Okay. So you said, and so, okay. So how do you say to yourself, so how do I prove this? So you say, well, there's emails, correspondence. See, back in the day when I used to do it, they used to send letters. That was a pain in the butt because you had to get the correspondence, all the letters. That's why you have to get your kids' records. You have to get a copy of your kids' records, and they can't stop you if you want them. Okay. Now, so there's laws. So we got this. So that would be another complaint. The fact that they're denying you access to your kids' records, that would be another complaint. And like I said, I don't know, in a state complaint, it takes 60 days. So before you even, so let's say okay, here's a good point. So let's say you're gathering your evidence because in the end, you're going to end up, somebody's filing a complaint. So, okay, good. So while you're trying to gather all of your evidence, they're stonewalling you. Guess what? File a complaint. Say the district denied you the right to access your kids' records. You asked for this. They said no. They've been stonewalling you. They only have a certain amount of time to answer that, to give you those records. It's only and every state is different. So you have to look it up in your state, not in the feds, in your state. Okay. And then your state will tell you how long they have. Some states are 30 days, some days are 10, some states are 10. It all depends on your state. Okay. If you have a problem, down below, write a comment. So, Tammy, what's the timeline for getting the records, student records in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania? Put it down there. I'll answer you in the comments. Okay? Down there. Don't inbox me. Down there. That's a general question. Okay? Whatever you can ask, whatever you feel like asking me over here, ask it down there. I really appreciate it. Anyway, so you want all of the evaluations for the last 2 years. And so when you ask, that's why go get my letter. In my letter, there's a request for records, and it has all of this in it. Okay, all you gotta do is cut and paste, and all you gotta do, and then you gotta tweak it out. So you can do all of the records because they have to give it to you. They can't say, well, we can only give you for 2 years. Good, put it in writing, stupid. As soon as they do that, you file against them because the school district has your kids' records. They have to have your kids' records for their entire career at school, from the day they started until 7 years after they graduate or leave school. Yeah. And when they go to destroy the records, let's say they want to destroy some records, they have to send you a letter to tell you what they're going to destroy, when they're going to destroy it, and if you want it, come get it. Yeah, they can't just destroy records because their room is full. Well, I actually had a school do that too. They got in trouble. You can't just go around destroying, because they're destroying evidence, because they don't know what you're going to do with that. That's why they're destroying it, because they don't want you to do anything with it. They want to make sure there's nothing there. See what I'm talking about? They're crazy. So you discipline records. If your child has behavior issues, and one of the issues in your complaint is that you want a functional behavioral assessment, guess what you want? All of those discipline records. If your kid is suspended more than 10 times in one school year, either altogether or cumulatively, do you know that means they change your kid's placement? Do you know what that means? They're in trouble. Okay? Because a whole bunch of stuff was supposed to happen. They're supposed to have a manifestation hearing. They were supposed to determine whether or not your kid's disability is the reason for the behaviors. And if so, they got to write up a functional behavioral assessment and a behavior support plan to stop the behaviors. So you want those discipline records. Okay? That's what you want. You want them bad. You want the discipline records. You want all the report cards, and people start saving your kids, samples of your kids' work. Just mark it, put it in a file, put the date on the records, okay? Put it on there the date your kid gave you that record, okay? Save your kids' writing samples, any work samples, okay? Because one time, for instance, I went to a team meeting, because it's not only good for hearings. This information is not just good for hearings. It's good for when you go to team meetings. For instance, one time I went to a team meeting. So the kid had auditory processing disorder. So his receptive skills were really low. And so he couldn't process the information. And so he got it all mixed up. Okay, so we're at a team meeting, and part of the IEP, I requested that what was I going to say? I requested that that part of the accommodations is clear and concise directions. One of the teachers lost his ever-loving mind. I object to that. I take exception to that. We all give clear and concise directions. Really. What Doofus didn't know is I had a sample of his work. So I gave him a copy of what he called clear and concise. You know what the direction said? It was 2 paragraphs on the paper. The direction said, highlight the most important parts of the story. The kid took his highlighter and highlighted the whole thing. 2 colors. So I showed it to him and I said, is this what you call clear and concise in directions? Do you see what he did? Do you see what he did? He said, yes. Was it clear and concise to him? Or was it clear and concise enough for you? Guess what got in his IEP? Clear and concise directions, instructions. That's why having copies of your kids' work is critical. They lie about how well your kid's doing. And their eyeballs and their opinions, nobody cares about. It's this big in the grand scheme of things. Understand? I have another kid where the school is literally, she's on an IEP. And the teacher has decided, she doesn't have to do all of this homework. So instead of getting Fs for missing assignments, she's not even counting the assignments. And it's not in her IEP. Violation. You can't do that kind of crap. You can do it, but you got to put it in the IEP. And you got to show why. I've had kids with accommodations that they have less homework. I've had that. I put it in there. And that's the reason why. To make sure that the kid is getting the homework broken down into small chunks so that the kid could get the work done. Eventually, we want the kid to, what this teacher is saying, screw it. She doesn't need to do it. Everybody else does, she doesn't. Good, because guess what she's not? She's not getting that piece. There's a reason why this particular thing is in the curriculum. She's not going to learn that. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is why I wonder sometimes why people go into teaching. If you don't want to teach, get out. You're not helping. You're just not helping. That's not helping. Okay, because she's not going to have the education you need, that she needs in order to do something, to go further with her life after she leaves high school. She's going to go down to the nearest, Turkey Hill or something. Is that that's what you think is okay? If she even gets that far. That's not fair. So anyway, so this is what I'm telling you. So all of this stuff, report cards, work sample, discipline records, gives you a lot of information. Now, what time is it? It's 9:30. Okay. So here is an example of how you put together the actual writing of the document. So the first thing you have to do, is create an evidence page. Okay. So after you gather all your evidence, now what you want to do is you want to write the evidence page. And this is how you do it. Okay. That's nice. I'm not even doing it right. Okay. Wait. You didn't see it, did you? Damn it. Okay. So let me do that again. So what you want to do is create an evidence page. So the evidence page goes on top of your evidence. Okay. So you created the list. You did a whole bunch of stuff so far. So now what you have to do is you have to take all of that stuff and you have to create this. This is for a state complaint and this is for a due process complaint. It's the same thing. You do the same thing the same way. Okay. So you write down. So it's the IEP Exhibit 1. And you write down the name of the year, 2019-2020 IEP. Exhibit 2, 2019-2020 IEP progress report. Okay. This is a state complaint, 1 year. Exhibit 3, 2017. What is this? Okay. I just put it in. Okay. 2017-2020 OT evaluations. This is just to show you this is what you put in there. I wouldn't put that in there, but exhibit 1 or 2 and so on. So you number each one of them. And I believe, I don't know if I put, let me see if I put it on here. Okay, wait. Okay, here's the part you guys want to know. You also put the number of the evidence, so everything corresponds. So you have the evidence sheet on top, okay? So you have the evidence sheet on top listing all of your evidence, and then the evidence itself corresponds to that evidence sheet. So you have to write Exhibit 1 on the evidence, okay? And it is a good thing to do is to just write, like if you have multiple pages, okay? You write page 1, page 2, page 3, evidence 2. Okay, it's evidence 2, page 1, page 2, page 3. So make sure you have page numbers on them and all of that. Sometimes hearing officers are very, they get stickler about that. So anyway, so writing the complaint, okay? So includes the facts, okay? So you state the nature of the problem, okay? Violations of regulation, of federal regulations, the date the allegations, the date the allegations took place. Wait, I'm doing it again. I hate when I do that. Okay. 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 When you begin to write your complaint, you got to make sure that your complaint has the facts, starting with the nature of the problem. So the opening statement is at the top. We're going to go into more detail, but the opening statement is at the top, and it says what your complaint is about, the allegations itself. And then you have to cite the violations within that. And then you put in the dates the allegations took place, who did it, and their title, okay? The evidence to support your claim and include the remedy, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to stop right now because now I think we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. This is still a state complaint, but there's more stuff that you have to go into, and I want to show you how to really, I think I do it in here. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to show you next week, I'm going to show you how to actually write it, okay? The actual writing of the complaint and how it's supposed to look, okay? So I want to say goodnight. I'm a tired girl. And I want to thank you guys so much for coming. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. If you hit the notification bell and you hit all, you should always get notification that I'm about to upload a video or I'm going to do a live. I also put it on Facebook so you guys can see it there too. But, please, when you're going to make a comment below on my YouTube channel, not on Facebook, about if you want me to see what you want. If you have a question about this video, then in anything that it contains, then make a comment below. I will answer them as soon as I can. And then the next time we do the video, we'll look at that. Okay. So subscribe to the channel, make a comment, hit the notification bell, and like. It's free. It's all free, guys. I love doing this, but I would really enjoy it if you guys could help me girl out. And thanks to you guys, I am increasing my subscription. The people who are subscribing to my channel, it's happened a little at a time, and I really, really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much. And I got to go warm up my tea because she's cold. I will talk to you next week. Thank you very much for participating. Night, guys.